You can view the results of your challenges. To do this, go to Activity Tracking and then directly to the Results phase here. In this Results phase, you'll be able to view the overall scores. These are the scores calculated by the system based on all the evaluation phases that have been completed. Here in the overall scores, you can see the distribution of scores directly, and below that, the list of participants with the score calculated by the system. So here we have the final score, any penalties that were applied, the score without penalties, and the individual scores for each student for each phase they participated in. Here you can see the overall average, but you can also view the average by criterion for your challenge. It can be useful to see the averages directly and identify which criteria received the lowest scores to determine if any actions need to be taken regarding those elements. You can view the detailed scores for a specific criterion to see how the scores are distributed for that criterion. All this information is for the overall section, meaning it's aggregated across all evaluation phases, but you can also get a detailed view of the results for a specific phase. So here, for example, I'm going to look at the evaluation phase for the work and focus only on the results from that phase, along with the different criteria. Here, I'm still looking at the average of the criteria, but I can switch back to the overall average. Here I have the groups with the highest scores. I could also see the groups that received the lowest scores, as well as groups with high standard deviations right here. I still have the list of participants with the number of evaluations each participant received, any possible penalties, the score calculated specifically for this phase, the standard deviation calculated for this score, the minimum score, the maximum score, and the median score. I would have this information for each phase, for example, for a phase evaluating the group members. What can be interesting is to look at the high standard deviations in these groups. So here, for example, there is a rather high standard deviation of 2, which means that some students in this group received good grades while others received lower grades. You have the option to click here on the group to see the grades each student in the group received. So here I can indeed see that some received 15 and others 12. You can always find the details of the participants, still with their group, the number of evaluations they received, any self-evaluations they completed, the average score of all the evaluations they received, the standard deviations, the minimum scores, the maximum scores, and the median score. You can also view the details of the evaluations received by the student. So by clicking directly on the evaluations received, I can immediately see the evaluations this student has received. I'm focusing on team 1, on the student, for example, here Lina Bertrand. I can see the number of evaluations she has received, the evaluations she has received, and the details of those evaluations along with the various comments. I have action buttons to possibly moderate, save as draft, or invalidate certain evaluations. I can also see the evaluations sent by the student. So I'm still looking at Lina Bertrand. So I will be able to see the evaluations she has completed. So the ones she has sent to her classmates, always with the details. I can also see the student's self-evaluation, and I can also access this information for all the members of the group. So here, for example, I could switch to Agathe Bertrand and see the evaluation she has received, as well as the evaluation she has completed. I showed you a detailed example of a group member evaluation, but it works the same way. For example, for a direct assignment evaluation here. I can see the evaluations this student has received, and I can view the work she has done, the group she was involved in, and the evaluation she received, along with the details of those evaluations. You have the option to export all these results directly in Excel format. The Excel file will be made up of several sheets, and each sheet will represent a phase. So the results will be found in the last sheet of the Excel file. That covers the section on viewing the results. Please don't hesitate if you have any questions.